Today, we're getting fashion advice that will help you live your own truth. We're joined by actor Spencer Stevenson from Hulu's Rosaline, who has a lot to say, and he's talking to us about gay representation in the roles he plays and how it relates to his life. This is Advocate Now. Spencer, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
What other BIPOC or LGBTQ plus issues are important for you to champion and advocate for on or off screen?
Women's rights is a massive thing for me. I was raised by a single mom, and all of my friends growing up that kind of shaped me to who I am were women. So that's like the forefront, like the first one I would name. But related to BIPOC and LGBTQ, the issues around violence, the issue around getting access to healthcare, and equal opportunities in employment are pretty big ones for me because I've had to deal with them myself. So I kind of know what that feels like and I can relate to it. Those are the ones that actually like hit home. And I like to raise my voice about and stand in the streets and make sure I'm voting for the right people in office, for there to actually be a change.
Now, in Rosaline, you play Paris, who is Rosaline's gay best friend. You know, this comedic take, just to give people a little background on the classic Romeo and Juliet story, is told through the lens of Romeo's ex, Rosaline. Being gay in real life, you know, how did it feel to bring positive gay representation to the big screen in such a known story that dates back to the 14th century?
Growing up, I didn't really have representation for myself on screen. So it feels good to like possibly give that back to someone that was like me or the little boys and girls that were like wanting to do this as well. The only representation I really had was like Raven Simone. That's who I felt like I was connected to. And that's kind of how like why I started acting because I like really like resonated with her. And so now there's like a whole broad range of like people like us now. So it feels great.
And not just representation, but real and positive portrayals of the LGBTQ plus community on screen. Why is that important?
Bringing a real version of a gay character, because Paris is just a heightened version of myself, so it's not like too far off. Bringing him onto screen, like letting the world be introduced to him is just, I mean, I can't ask for anything more. And I love Paris so much. Me and him are very close.
How great, though, to land a character that's so similar to yourself, or did you sort of make it into more of you?
After my first audition, I did it like straight with the onto the script and didn't change anything up. And then my second audition is where I kind of just did whatever I wanted to do. And that version of Paris is the one that landed in the movie. Karen and Disney and 21 Laps and Caitlin gave me a lot of creative freedom with him. So I basically got to just have fun and like make it however it was. And then if it didn't work, Karen was there to like guide me in the direction that we kind of wanted to lead into. But I mean, I had full creative freedom for him, which was, I mean, I I still can't even believe it.
Being half Black and being gay, how do you feel that shaped you as a person and an actor?
Made my ambition. I'm a really hard worker. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm also from Texas. I was born and raised in Texas, and come from like a conservative upbringing. So like, I think all of that combined just had like I just had to work my ass off even harder, you know. And it's kind of made me the man I am today.
You're also giving major 14th century fashion inspo. Take a look at this photo right here. It's absolutely amazing. What kind of input did you give on your own character's wardrobe?
Mitchell Travers is phenomenal. He's the costume designer for Rosaline. I walked in, I had gone to Italy, and like 4 days later, I went in for my fitting. And again, like I had never been a part of a production like this, so I didn't even know what I was walking into. I wasn't even like fully, I didn't even know like what I was gonna possibly be even wearing. But I walked in and he's a gay man. And he was just so excited because like I'm playing a gay character and like just the unspoken, like, that's my girl, like things happen. And I mean, I didn't really have to do much. I really just let him do whatever he wanted to do because I trusted him. And I mean, obviously, if you watch the movie and like you've seen it, like he didn't disappoint, you know. There was like we had about like 10 costumes that we like landed on that we really really liked. Obviously we didn't have like we didn't need to use all of them. But I mean every single thing had to deal with like which one was my favorite, what did I feel comfortable in, or like what did we like that was going to work with like the environment that I was in. But other than that, I mean, I was just kind of like, yeah, we're going to do that because everything was so good.
Well, in real life, I mean, you know how to bring the fashion heat too. I feel like only in recent years we've seen more men being more expressive with their style. I love seeing that. How would you describe your style and why would you say it's unique?
When I do like show up and show out, like I'm not really thinking of like what I'm wearing. I just kind of it's like a how I feel in it. Because that'll like shift my energy for like my day and who I'm interacting with. But honestly, I mean, you see what I'm wearing right now. I would love to always be in a hoodie and sweats and live in
Same.
that every single second of the day. Like that's my vibe, that's my energy. And
But how would you say that people can be more expressive with their fashion? What would your advice be to them?
when it comes to fashion or how I look, I used to do this all the time. I don't really like want seek validation from other people, especially with how I like what I wear. It has to be how I feel and how I'm gonna interact and how I'm gonna go about with my everyday life. And that's really what it comes down to. If you like something and you feel good in it, that's all that really matters. And if you carry that around, everyone else is going to get it. So like even if you are seeking that validation, if you're carrying around this energy that's like, yeah, I'm that girl, then
Yeah,
like they're going to get that unspoken.
it's so true. Is there a current fashion trend that you think people should jump on right now?
I'm obsessed with the like whole oversized, like comfy, cozy sweater vibes, especially because now it's like, getting a little chilly. But I'm always been a big fan of like oversized things, and I'm happy that that's kind of like everywhere now. So if you don't have an oversized sweater, you better go get one.
I'm all about the oversized right now. I want to ask you though, because you mentioned earlier about shooting in Italy when you were shooting Rosalind. What was that experience like? Because you spent a couple months there, right?
I had never left the country. That was my very first time ever leaving the United States. When I actually had booked the role, I didn't even have a passport, and like I was supposed to be in Italy in like 4 days after that, which was a whole experience with like Disney, and like it was really cool to like see how fast they got this passport made for me. But go, I mean, I've always like seen Italy on like screen or like pictures. I've heard about it, but being there, it was just, I mean. I have no words. It was one of the best times of my life.
Yeah, and there are so many young actors in that film, but then you have veteran actors like Minnie Driver, Bradley Whitford. What was it like for you working with them?
Working with Bradley Whitford, I mean, I've watched almost all of his projects and Mini Driver as well. Um, just being in their presence. One, Bradley Whitford is probably the funniest person ever I've ever met in my life. And he's such like a he's like not like someone that's like I'm gonna give you advice. It's more like what he says and how he acts is like teaching me everything just in the moment. We have this really like big scene towards the end of the movie where like we're in this church. And like it took 2 full days to like shoot it because there's like everyone in the cast is like in the same room. And like it was so hard to shoot because everyone's just a jokester at all times. But like seeing how comfortable and like how non-serious like I didn't have to be in my head when I'm on set all the time and just like watching them exist in like their environment was just such a big learning lesson for me where it's like this is our job and like let's go have fun.
You mentioned earlier that you're passionate about women's issues. What specifically about women's issues?
Their rights are being taken away. I mean, my mom is a single mom. She was in the Navy for 8 years, and we've backtracked like massively, and it's like actually heartbreaking. And again, the Texas thing, I have like friends and family that have had to like have an abortion, and now they like don't really get that chance to even have that. It's not even their say anymore, and a man has the right to decide for them. It's just actually insane for me. And it makes me furious because again, they like women deserve the world. They run the world, and like it's just I'm ready to be there in any way I can and use a platform if I have one. That is why I'm here. That is what I want to use it for because this isn't okay.
Spencer, thank you so much for being here, for all of your insight, for all of your
Thank
great
you.
advice, your fashion advice. So good
Thank
talking
you.
to you. And make sure to check out Spencer and Rosaline streaming on Hulu. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm Sonia Baghdady. Thanks for watching and advocating. For more stories and content like this, visit advocatechannel.com.